Hi, this is Kevin Trainer, and welcome to my tutorial on how to install the My Guitar Shop database associated with our textbook on your computer. Okay, so this tutorial I'm recording in January 2018 for the spring semester, and I'm hoping it's going to have a fairly long life. I'm going to be showing how to do this on your Windows 10 machine, and I'm using a Windows 10 virtual machine that is completely up to date. And the the way to do this is pretty similar on Mac OS. Really not too different at all. You just have to be able to put your files in the right spot. So as we go along, I'm going to talk about what might be different. So let's do this. Let's take a look at, now the first time I'm going to be using this in class is for a course I'm teaching at the University of Illinois. And right now, for that course, we are keeping our weekly schedule on this weekly schedule application. And the install that we're going to be doing, that's in week 4 of this particular semester. And as you can see, there are 2 tutorials, the first of which I'm recording right here, and then there'll be another one following behind shortly. And we do have a link for My Guitar Shop database starter files. So that's how I expect you to get them. You can't get them from the publisher because you're not an instructor. I got them from the publisher because I am. So you get them from me. So this is a link to a zip file. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go down the bottom and click the Save option. And it comes down pretty quickly, so I'm going to click the button for Open Folder. Okay, and there it is. It's a zip file called MGSEX starts. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's do a couple of things. First of all, I don't think we're going to need the browser anymore for right now, so I'm going to close that. And so we're just here on the File Explorer. And if I remember right, the way that I unzip these in Windows 10 is I press Shift and I right click and extract all right there. And so it's going to put it into downloads. That's fine. I'll pull it to where I would like it. So I click the button down here for extract, and it has extracted all of these things, and that looks good. And so where am I going to put this? Well, let's see. I've got one copy of Explorer that's showing the directory that I want to put in the right spot. And on the other copy of Explorer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the directory where we put the files that came with the textbook. And if you'll remember, in Windows, they were on the C drive, and they were in a directory called Maroc. So let's just go find the C drive here and open it up. And you can see that's the directory that we want right here. So when we open that up, we find a MySQL directory. Okay? Now, the instructions for the Mac were a little different. So if you're doing this on the Mac, you want to find the MySQL directory wherever you put it. I recommended that you put it into your Documents folder on the Mac, but you could have put it somewhere else. And what we're going to do is we're just going to tuck these files for the My Guitar Shop database in with the rest of the files that came with the textbook. So we're going to open up the MySQL directory. And we have all of these things. We have the book scripts. We have all the things that were originally there. And I'm just going to take this MGSEX starts, and I'm going to pull it over and put it into that directory. Okay? So let's take a look at what's in there. There are a bunch of scripts that create the database that we're going to be using called My Guitar Shop. Okay, and we're going to open that up from within MySQL Workbench, and we're going to get the job done. Okay, so depending upon the operating system that you're using, I will assume that you have pulled this unzipped directory, MGSEX starts, to the appropriate spot within the MySQL directory that we downloaded from the textbook. Okay, so then that's all the downloading and unzipping. So let's just show how we're going to use this. Okay, so we're going to use it with MySQL Workbench. So MySQL Workbench, when we installed it, we put a copy on the taskbar in Windows or in the dock on Mac OS. So we should have a handy little icon to click on, and I'm going to click on it here and fire it up. And here is a copy of Workbench. And before we can run any scripts, we need to open up a connection. So we're going to find the connection icon here. It's a little a gray block, and give it a click. And it's going to ask for my password, which I haven't yet told it to memorize, so I'm going to do that now. Sesame, A-M-E, S-E-S-A-M-E. That's the one I'm recommending that we use so we don't forget it. And this time I'm going to click and say, yeah, save that password in a vault. Okay, and now I'm not going to have to give it the password anymore. I just want to remind you that's the password that they recommend in the appendixes in the back of the Maroc book. So when you forget your password, rather than if you forget your password, you can go back to the book and see the one that they recommend. Okay, so all we really have to do is we have to load up a query and go. So let's look, before we do that, let's look at the databases that we already have here. Okay, so we have over here, I'm going to shrink what's under AP. We have AP, EX, and OM. These are the ones that came with the Maroc textbook. There are two other ones that we were able to download when we downloaded the Windows version. There were these demonstration databases. We didn't find those we didn't find an easy way to download them when we did the Mac OS install. So you probably don't have these if you're on Mac OS. Those are Sequila and World. Um, Everybody should have sys. It's part of the infrastructure of MySQL. But the thing that we don't have is My Guitar Shop. And that's the one that we're going to need to do the exercises from the book. So let's do that. So let's go find the right script to execute. So we open a script in the editor with this upper taskbar, toolbar rather, and one in from the left is the Open SQL script. Click on that. And we're not too far from where we want to be. I want to go to that MySQL directory, and then I want to open up the MGSEX starts, so I'll double click that. And then I'm going to highlight Create My Guitar Shop and click the Open button. And here we go. Here's the script that creates the My Guitar Shop database. And one thing I want to call your attention to is it includes all these inserts which populate the database. So we're not only going to have the structure of the database, it's going to be populated with proper test data. Okay? So how do we execute this? Well, like we saw in the last of the tutorials that we did, we're just going to come over here and we're going to use the lightning bolt on the left. We're not going to select a particular part of the script. If we use the lightning bolt on the left and we do that, then we only execute the part that's highlighted. We don't want to do that. Instead, we want to just put the cursor in the upper left or wherever, as long as it's not highlighting a block of text. And we want to go to the left lightning bolt. It's the one without the I-beam on it, and give it a click. And you can see down here in the action output window that we've run a lot of SQL statements, and we've either gotten a green to say they succeeded or a yellow triangle to say give us a warning. And in this, the yellow triangles are okay. Okay, typically, for instance, the first one where we say we want to drop the database if it exists already. Well, it didn't exist already. So we got a warning. Well, we didn't expect it to exist already. So we should now have the database in place. So how do we find it? Well, we go over and to this navigator panel on the left, and we look at this list of schemas. It's still not there. It's not there because we need to refresh it. So let's go up to where it says schemas, and to the right of that is a refresh icon. And when we refresh, we get My Guitar Shop. And the trick in using one of the databases and having the tool treat it as the default database is to go over and double click on that database. So we're going to double click on My Guitar Shop, and it's going to bold it and open up the things underneath it. And it turns out as we go through the course, we're not going to rely a lot on this marking one of the databases as the default. We're always going to, in our scripts, we're going to explicitly say the database that we want to use. But in the short run, we are going to use that feature. And let's look at some of the data, okay, that's here. First of all, let's look at the tables. Okay, and the tables include things like addresses, administrators, etc. The major table in this database is one called orders. And if we either click once on orders or we just hover over it, over to the right we see three icons that pop up. The left one with the eye gives us just some information about the table. The one in the middle with the wrench takes us to the dialog for the settings. And the one on the right will give us the data in the table. So we're going to click on that one on the right. And here we get the result grid. This is what in SQL, it's the result of a query. It's what we call a result set. And we had done this for the orders database. So we see the orders, we see the rows that are in the orders table rather, not orders database. And we can see that there are 9 of them. And that's what we're expecting to see. All right, so that's all pretty straightforward stuff. At this point, we have the database properly installed, okay? Now, I just want to point out that over the course of our course, throughout the semester, we are going to change some of the values of the database. And in some circumstances, we'd like to get back to the original to the original state of the database. And this is a pretty typical use case when you're developing a group of queries or SQL scripts. Some of the scripts are going to insert new data. Some of the scripts are going to update data. Some of the scripts are going to delete data. So when you're done, the state of the database will have changed. So, there are times where we want to go back to the original state. Well, how could we do that? Well, the way that we do that is we just run the query again that set up the database. Okay? So, for instance, let's just say that we want to open up a script and go right back to create my guitar shop and open it. And you'll notice that the first thing that it says is it will drop the database if it already exists. Okay? So right now we have a schema called My Guitar Shop. And let's look at that. And we'll go up and we'll refresh that so we can see, yeah, we do have that. Okay. And then let's actually use that feature where you're able to execute just the line of code that you've highlighted. So I'm going to highlight this line 5, drop the database if exists my guitar shop. So that's going to drop that for us. There are ways to do that, just clicking over in that panel on the left. But I'm going to highlight that, and because of the color scheme here, you're not going to be able to see the text all that well. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to click on the lightning bolt on the left. And look, over here in the panel, it has disappeared. How about that? Okay, so let's run the script from the start. The nice thing about the way they have created the script is it will run okay whether you already have a copy of the database up or whether you're doing it without a copy of the database up. So we're just going to click in the upper left to make sure we're not highlighting any particular text. And the other thing we can do is we can go down to where the output is, and I like to clear it. So I'm going to right click and clear it. Okay, so that's cleared. It's going to be easy to see the output that came out of this, the execution of the current script instead of all the old stuff that's hanging around from before. And now I'm going to go up and take the lightning bolt on the left and give it a click. And there it is. Okay. But it hasn't shown up in our list of schemas yet because we need to refresh. So we refresh, and there it is. And it went right back to being our default. I guess that selection is kind of sticky even if you've gotten rid of the database in between. Okay, so that is it for how to download and install the files and create the database using Workbench. And I'm going to leave you for now. I'll be back shortly with the database that tells how to put your solutions together for the assignments and get ready to submit them. So bye for now. Bye-bye.